Okay, I don't know what else I'm meant to do, because I looked around and made sure I've gotten everything, so I'm guessing we're gathering everybody? I'm still not entirely sure of who the killer is. Not sure I'm ready for this. There's no going back after I call everyone here. Oh, more than ready than I can never be, so let's hope I got everything.
The police weren't yet here, but it made no matter. I had seen everything I needed to see. It was time to lay this mystery to rest and expose the guilty party for all to see. I do so love it when someone other than me gets their comeuppance.
Oh, apparently I completed chapter 2.
Wonderful. Everyone's here. I guess that means we can begin.
Begin, what exactly?
Why, exposing the murderer, of course.
You mean you know who it is?
I have absolutely no idea.
Of course
You don't need
I
to do that.
my dear. Don't you?
Well, no. I'm not sure.
Pity. You were the one who said we had to see the truth for ourselves or something, weren't you? Well, it's a good thing that at least one of us has been busy this past little while.
Come now, darling, you simply can't keep us in suspense like this. Are you going to tell us or not?
Yeah, after all this, it better be good. Not that I'm getting my hopes up or anything, mind you.
Tut tut. All in good time, my dear little girl. First, we all need to agree on some basic facts. Mr. Klops, you've been posted out in front of the house ever since we found the body, yes?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
And did you see anyone leaving the house? Or anybody hanging about at all?
No, ma'am. There was no one there. And nobody would have got past me, that's for sure.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't. That glowering gaze of yours alone would be enough to send them scurrying back the way they came. As for the rest of us, did anyone find any trace of a break-in? Broken windows, muddy footprints, anything at all?
I mean, this entire place is falling apart, so it'd be hard to tell.
Indeed not. I saw nothing of the sort, and if I might say so, a magician's eyes are trained to spot even the smallest of details.
Sure.
I didn't see anything either. Not a thing.
Good then, so we agree. Nobody else has entered or left the house, which means that the killer is one of us, right here in this room.
Darling, this is just too much. If you make us wait even a moment more, I shall need a glass of brandy and a bottle of smelling salts.
Oh, I'll take more orange juice. If someone is getting drinks, that is.
Yes, sir. But first, how about we hear who did it?
This is it then. There's no going back. It's time to end this. Whoever I point to now is not going to be terribly pleased with me. But that's fine, as I'm not terribly pleased with them either. If they wanted to have half a chance of getting away with this, they made a most misfortunate choice in trying to frame me.
Okay, we're just going straight for it. Don't think it would, fuck, who do we choose? Okay, well, it wasn't Charisse, because Yeah, I don't think she'd have any reason to kill him. I mean, I don't think it was her. She loves the drama and everything, but yeah. It could be Leah or Klops or the magician guy. It's out of these three. The more I think about it, maybe it was the magician guy, because, like, he was obviously jealous and everything. I mean, I can only but try. Okay, let's do this.
It was you, Horatio. You killed Prince Titanico.
Me? Misfortune, surely you jest.
Horatio, my dear. I think we all agree that if anyone here is a jester, it's definitely you.
No. I am not a jester. A wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock, if you will. I'm absolutely sure we've been over this before.
Yeah. Grand Goofus of the court or whatever it was. Can we get to the point? Why do you think he did it?
Yes, why would I kill my oldest and closest friend? I am more distraught by this terrible affair than anyone. Completely and utterly distraught.
Yes, motive. To answer that question, I think we need to first understand why we're all here for this little party at all. Before he left us for the last time, the prince said that he would return with an announcement. I have an inkling of what it might have been.
Yeah, and the only one who knew of it was this guy.
From the beginning, I've had the nagging impression that this entire evening was a show staged for just one special someone. That someone is you, Miss Charisse.
A show? For me?
Yes, for you. It's no secret to any of us at this point that you and the prince had been, shall we say, stepping out as of late. And so the climax to the prince's little drama is obvious. He was going to ask for your hand in marriage. That's why he had this with him, isn't it?
Hey, where'd you get that?
Now, all in good time. For now, it's enough to prove the prince's intent. You don't look surprised, my dear.
It just suddenly clicked. The reason I got into my thing is because this guy's the magician, isn't he? So of course he played a little trick. That made... I'm only just figuring that out now.
No. Not completely surprised, anyway.
My, a grand public proposal then.
That's my friend. He was always such an incurable romantic.
Romantic? Oh, you poor naive boy. This was nothing of the sort. It was a cold, calculated move designed by the prince to get the result he wanted. Whisk the object of his affections out of her element into a strange and unfamiliar house, frighten her with ghost stories all evening, and then make a sweeping public proposal in front of a group of high society strangers like myself and the Comtessa. Oh yes, indeed. What girl wouldn't want all of that, I ask you?
Horatio, my friend. Tonight will be the night. I have arranged a nice little soiree at the Lee Manor. Just a small affair, so as to be intimate, but with guests that my beloved does not know well. The setting should be perfect.
And you're going to propose right there, in front of everyone?
Yes, when the time is right. Of course, we must set the mood first. A flash of lightning, a clap of thunder, a macabre historical tidbit or two, and perhaps a little surprise courtesy of your talents, just to add a little more flair.
Why, of course. I can conjure up just the thing for you, I'm sure. But do you really think this will work?
My dear friend, how little you understand of the fair sex. This girl, she is pure as the fallen snow. She only sees the best in everyone. We have nothing to fear. She will be as putty in my hands.
I really must confess, it was all quite masterfully done. Rejecting a proposal under such circumstances would be unbelievably awkward, both socially and psychologically. Not a bad one to remember from my own books, I think.
This is all pure conjecture and, I might add, completely ridiculous.
Not entirely.
Yes, you would be quite the authority on the ridiculous, wouldn't you?
But, be all of that as it may, you still have yet to get to the part where I have even the slightest reason to kill anybody.
Is that so? I rather thought by this point that would be obvious.
Yeah, he was the one that wanted to marry Cherise, because, yeah, he was obviously jealous.
It's the oldest tale in the book, really. Two men, one beautiful, charming, and extraordinarily wealthy young girl. You couldn't let Titanico marry Cherise because you wanted to marry her yourself.
That's...
True.
All of your life, you've lived in your friend's shadow, haven't you? And here he was, planning to marry a dream wife under your very nose. It was too much. He had to be stopped. She had to be yours.
Well, now, you see, you look here. While, of course, I have nothing but admiration for Miss Cherise, I mean, it's just, as you say, who wouldn't? But the incontrovertible point here is, how could I possibly have killed the prince when I was the one in the basement busily fixing the lights at the time?
Ah, excellent. So we've moved on from the why to the how. Indeed. How was the prince killed after all?
How? Don't we know how? Took a shiv right to the back.
I'm not so sure it's that simple.
To be fair, we can't really fault Mr. Klops here for seeing only half the picture. The prince was stabbed, yes. But is that what killed him? I think that the prince...
Yeah, he was pushed and fell. Oh wait, no, he was electrocuted. Oh, because of the wire, of course. So, because of the burnt hand. So he probably electrocuted when he answered the phone.
was attacked in quite a clever way, really. He was stabbed, yes, but that wasn't until he was already dead, or very close to it. First, he was electrocuted.
Electrocuted? Good heavens! You mean the bad wiring?
Oh, so you noticed it?
Oh no, this was no accident. If you check the phone closely, you'll see it's got this rather sneaky extra wire hooked up to it. The phone's an older model with a metal casing, so if the wire was live...
I get it. The prince got shocked by the phone and tumbled off the balcony.
And broke his leg from the fall. After that, he was stabbed too. It's monstrous.
Hang on, but I picked up that phone. I didn't get shocked.
No, because at that point the wire wasn't live. But someone could have turned it on in the meantime. Someone in the breaker room.
Yeah, so as soon as it got turned on, he got electrocuted.
So when I told the boss about the call in the dining room and he went to go get it...
Power came on.
By the time he reached the phone, the wire was live.
Now, just wait 1 minute here. Since I was down in the break room at the time, how could I possibly have timed all of this so precisely? There's no way anyone could hear the phone ringing from the basement.
Yeah, I reckon he may have like set a timer for it to go back on, so he had enough time to do all this. That's why the timer was left
True,
in
we
there.
didn't even hear it from the dining room.
My dear Horatio, I can't believe that I'm the one reminding us of all of this. But you are a magician. You had it all planned out from the beginning. Getting the timing right was easy because...
Oh yeah, because that's right, because somebody had tipped off the auditor to call at an exact same or a precise time.
You were the one to tip off the caller. That call came from a financial auditor, a rather fastidious one who had been expressly asked to call at precisely the time that she did.
An auditor? Oh my word. Was the prince in trouble then? I simply had no idea.
Of course you didn't. Masquerading at being successful was Titanico's main talent.
And interesting theory, Misfortune. But you can't possibly have a shred of proof. And why would I tattle on my friend to a financial auditor?
You said yourself, more than enough times, that you were the only one the prince would take into his confidence. So no doubt you knew of his troubles. As for why, didn't I mention that earlier? That was another reason you had to act now. You knew that once they were married, the prince planned to bleed poor little Charisse dry to pay off his creditors. No. Much better that he die now, and that his debts die with him.
Well, what about the stabbing then? Did I do that by remote too?
At last. I think it's time to play my trump card. By slipping the knife and the ring into my bag, the killer had hoped to set me up. But that had been their biggest mistake. In reality, all they did was give me the evidence I need to put an end to this. Yes, stabbing. A bit curious, don't you think? Between the high-voltage shock and the fall, the prince was almost certainly finished already. Why take the risk to stab a man who was already dead?
I give up. Why?
Quite simply, because stabbing leaves a mark. A mark that would draw our attention away from the real method of death. And one that lets you plant incriminating evidence on another guest to take the fall for your misdeeds. Evidence like this.
Hey,
Yeah, the knife.
That's...
There's blood on it. Misfortune. Where did you...
Why, I found it in my handbag, dear. Exactly where the killer wanted all of you to find it.
So that's it then? That's the knife that stabbed the prince.
No, it wasn't.
Well...
Yeah, there was a second knife.
Actually, this isn't the knife that stabbed the prince. But we are meant to think that it was.
But the blade. I'm sure it's a match for the wound.
Indeed. But this knife has a twin. I found it hidden under the pillow in the queen bedroom. The Comtessa was there. She'll tell you the same.
Oh, yes, indeed. And there was blood on it as well.
In fact, wasn't that the very room you were in when the body was found, Comtessa? Tell me again. Who was it that came to get you then?
It was Horatio. Oh!
Yeah, so he had time to hide it while she left.
And you think Mr. Horatio stabbed the prince with that knife after shocking him from the breaker room? And then hid it in the bed where he found the Comtessa?
Quite so.
Hey, wait. That doesn't add up.
Add up. Mr. Klops, I never would have guessed arithmetic was your strong suit.
I found the boss. I mean, the prince. Almost as soon as the lights came on. So Horatio must have been back in the basement by then.
Perhaps he hurried back here after finishing with the unseemly stabbing?
No way. No time. It's quite a ways to the cellar. Running all the way up from there after shocking the phone, stabbing the boss, then all the way back down in time to flip the lights back on. All in the dark, too. Not a chance.
Yeah, but there was a timer though.
You see, Misfortune? Even Klops here can see that your version of events is complete nonsense. How are you going to explain this one?
Simple. Magic.
Uh-huh. You know, he doesn't really have magic, right?
Oh, I assure you, this is magic of the most mundane variety. You see, down in the basement, there's a little timer hooked up to the breaker. That's what caused our blackout earlier, by the way. All part of the show to emotionally destabilize poor little Charisse here. But if that timer could be used to flip a breaker once, why not again?
Oh, I see it. So Horatio goes to the basement, and instead of flipping the lights on right away, sets the timer again to turn them back on in a few minutes.
Why, aren't you the smartest little thing? Get your teacher to give you a gold star for that one. Yes, as you can see, he didn't have to make it all the way back to the basement. Just as far as the stairwell, so he could pretend to be coming back up.
Yeah, I guess there'd be time, in that case.
Well, if you're all good and finished, there's just one important fact I'd like to point out. Right now, you have that knife, and I don't. Even if there was a second knife, which you could very well have planted yourself, I might add, at some point, you seem to think I somehow gave you this one. Seeing as I've apparently been spending all of my time running back and forth from the basement, arranging that little trick sounds impossible, even for my abilities.
This is it. The last piece of the puzzle. Get this right, and the wizard's house of cards will collapse like the flimsy sham that it is.
Okay. When was the false evidence planted? Arrival, introductions, tour. I mean, obviously it would have had to have been before. Yeah, well, it definitely wasn't on arrival because we didn't meet him first off. Yeah, well, I mean, people would have seen during these two, so it's definitely not after, so during the blackout?
Of course. That's it. Everything comes back to that moment. That blackout was the key to the whole plan all along. That, my dear would-be wizard, is simplicity itself. It was during the perfect moment that you yourself have admitted to having engineered. The blackout in the dining room.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Thank you. I was just a bit startled.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror. I dare say I may faint myself, delicate flower that I am.
Please, Misfortune, allow me. I've got you now.
Oh, right, because he tried to save me from me being dramatic. Right, so he would have had time to do that during that.
Oh, what would we do without you? On second thought, you can unhand me. I seem to be quite all right.
Yeah, I guess that was a little weird, wasn't it?
He put the extra knife and the ring in your purse right then, when we could barely see anything.
Just so. I I have no doubt the blood on my knife belongs to the prince, but no doubt it was easy for Titanico's closest confidant to collect a little sample in advance. And as for the ring, well, we were meant to think that I took it off the prince. In fact, that's exactly where you thought it was, wasn't it, Mr. Klops?
Me? What have I got to do with this?
Mr. Klops, I'm sorry, but I saw you go into the hall when you found the body. And it seemed to me you were in there for a little too long.
Not for long enough to kill a man, of course, but long enough to give his pockets a quick search for some valuable jewelry that you thought no one would miss.
Well, I mean, it's not like he was gonna need it, right?
Naturally not. But the prince was never carrying the ring himself, of course. That's a job you give to your best man. Although, perhaps in this case, I think worst man would be more appropriate.
Oh, shit.
How dare you? My sweet Charisse, don't listen to a word of it.
I can wait fire. Everybody get the fuck out.
Hey, back off, you creep.
Don't you understand? He was only using you. It was I who was meant to be with you, not him. We would have been perfect together. This was the life I've been waiting for. This was the life I deserved.
No. You're nothing but craven villains. You and the prince both. You deserve exactly the company you got. Each other.
Misfortune. This is all your fault. You ruined everything. Everything! You will regret this. You will feel the fire of a warlock's wrath! Ooh.
Thank you. I'm about to say, can somebody just, like, punt him? That was a little bit too easy.
Felt good.
Good for you, cops.
Mr. Klops, I don't know about your skills as a valet, but if I ever have need of a battering ram, I shall be most certain to give you a call.
Very pleased to have been of service, ma'am.
Goodness, after a finish like that, I shall need my doctor to prescribe me a sedative. Oh my word, I think the police are here at last. I shall let them in.
Just in time.
Gotta say, glad that's over. I have to wonder though, did he really think Sherry would fall for him so easily after offing her old boyfriend?
A shared traumatic event, a grieving young girl, a sympathetic friend, and a third-party villain to blame for it all. I've seen more unlikely scenarios.
And also, men who think very highly of themselves can have a lot of trouble believing not everyone thinks the same. They may have looked different, but Titanico and Horatio, they really were alike in many ways, I think.
You really are smarter than you look. Have I told you that yet?
You are too kind.
When I have compliments the best you're ever going to get. May as well take it, I guess.
Well, I fear that may be all the kindness I can muster for one evening. I imagine the police will want to take my statement, but after that, I hope Mr. Klops will be so good as to show me out with all haste.
I think they'll be wanting the prince's ring back, too, ma'am.
Damn. I was hoping we could keep it.
Oh, silly me. Did I put that back in my bag? It is a nice ring, I dare say. Say what you will about the prince, but he really did have good taste for certain things at least. Ta-ta then, everyone.
Oh, I actually got a true ending. Yay! once I clear chapter 3. Okay, well, I actually want to see what happens if we end up choosing the wrong person, so I'll be right back. Oh yeah, there's actually several endings right here. Huh, okay, let's have a look then. Okay, let's try accusing somebody else. So, let's start from the top, I guess.
It was you, little Miss Cherise. You killed Prince Titanica.
What? No, Bollocks. Complete bollocks. Sherry wouldn't hurt anyone.
I have to agree. Miss Charisse is an angel, a paragon of virtue. The very notion that she could be the killer is absurd.
Oh, yes. She is an angel. That much I'll agree. But there's more than one sort of angel in this world, isn't there?
Darlings, I've lived long enough to know that people can always surprise you. But leaving aside the aspect of character, just how in the world would a delicate young lady like Miss Charisse be able to overpower and kill a man like the prince? He had to have been twice her size, at least.
Yes, I suppose we should get that little detail out of the way first. You see, the prince...
I mean, yeah, he was pushed and fell, so maybe?
was stabbed, yes, but that came later. If you look at the body, there's very little blood. Besides, if a woman like Charisse had attacked the prince head-on, it would be almost impossible to avoid getting blood all over that frilly white dress of hers. It's clear that by the time the stab wound was delivered, the prince was already helpless, maybe even dead.
So what do you suppose happened then?
Let's think back for a moment. Just what was the prince doing when he left us for the last time?
I just told him about a phone call. He was going to take it in the hall.
Indeed he was. At the top of the double stairs, there's a phone, isn't there? And that's where the attack actually took place. The killer took advantage of the dark and the distraction of the phone call to shove the prince over the balcony. Take a look at his leg and the way he landed, if you like. The truth is clear enough.
Yeah, I saw it. It did look like he fell.
And you really think I did that? But why? Why do such a terrible thing?
To answer that question, we need to take a step back as to why you were dating our dark and mysterious prince in the first place. You see, my dear, you were...
Was she investigating him? Because, I mean, there was a murder case and everything, but, I mean, there was the audit, so maybe we could try that one?
Getting close to the prince for one reason, and one reason only. To investigate him. Particularly, investigate his finances.
Investigate him? But why ever would Miss Charisse do a thing like that? She's not a detective, too, is she?
Not exactly, but...
Not professionally, perhaps, but not long ago, she found out something very troubling to her. It was you who told me that, Leah dear, wasn't it?
We learned that her family had been mixed up with some really bad people. No, more than just bad. With true evil. She just wants to make up for it all. Make it all right again. Sometimes I worry she thinks she can carry the weight of the whole world if she pushes herself hard enough.
Your family had been doing business with a good number of unsavory characters, hadn't they, little miss?
Yes, it's true. They had.
And based on the family records that you inherited, You suspected that one of those characters was Prince Titanico. It seems telling that you two gentlemen don't seem to find this terribly implausible, do you?
What, me? Well, the boss, I mean, it's not really my place, ma'am. I'm just a valet.
I wasn't really privy to the business side of things, you know.
Of course you weren't, dear. Regardless, the prince saw Miss Charisse as a helpless ingenue that he could bamboozle and sweep off her feet. But the truth is, she was the one using him to get close to him so as to snoop on his finances.
I just needed to know the truth. I needed to know how far it all went.
Look, it's true Sherry thought the prince was up to no good. But she didn't kill him. I mean, how would she even? What, you think she was just gonna follow him around all night? And hope he got close enough to a railing for a little shove? What kind of plan is that?
This is it. There was too much at stake. She couldn't have left anything to chance. I have to show this whole thing was planned from the start. How could she have been certain to get the prince by himself? Wait, that's it. That, my dear girl, is simple. The phone call.
But I answered that call.
Yes, but it was for the prince, wasn't it? Charisse knew that the prince would take the call by himself on the phone in the hall. It would be the perfect time to catch him alone and distracted. And she was perfectly prepared for it because...
Yeah, we already discussed this earlier, but yeah, the auditor was tipped off.
You were the one to tip off the caller. That call came from a financial auditor, a rather fastidious one who had been expressly asked to call at precisely the time that she did.
Good heavens, of course! He'd certainly make sure to be speaking in private with a call like that.
Exactly. Knowing he'd be distracted and alone, a quick shove was all it took. Then she scurried to the bottom of the stairs, knife in hand, just to make absolutely sure. I wonder, what might you have whispered to him in those final moments, Did you recount to him his sins? Did you tell him why he had to die?
No! It isn't true! It's not! Stop this. All of it! Sherry wouldn't kill anyone. She's just too good for that.
Kill maliciously or for personal gain? No, I believe you there. All that sickening sweetness. It isn't an act. But if she thought she was profoundly justified? An angel of justice, if you will. Now that I can see.
My word, what a story! Won't the court be talking about this one for weeks? Am I hear sirens.
Miss Charisse, there's no more time. Run while you can. Klops and I will fight them up while you escape.
Wait, what? Speak for yourself, you cheap circus sideshow.
It's all right. Show the police in. I'll go with them.
Oh, I actually kind of feel bad.
Sherry, no! You can't! I'll get you out of this, I promise. Just...
Leah, don't.
This isn't over, Sherry. It's not.
I know. And I won't give up. But now's not the time. As for you, Misfortune, we'll meet again sometime, I think.
Ooh, she's definitely going to be acting out on revenge here.
Ah, yes. Probably at the trial, I imagine. Ta-ta then.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, sorry, Charisse. Just wanted to see the other ending.
Farewell, brave Miss Charisse.
I should have been relieved that it was all over, but the way she looked at me that last time before she walked away, I couldn't help a slight shudder in spite of myself. Was it at all possible that she really hadn't done it? Would her wealth and connections get her off regardless? But those were questions for another day. The important thing for now was that I was off the hook. One really must look on the bright side of things from time to time after all.
Ending a cheat. Avenging Angel. Okay, and then just got an achievement for proving another character is guilty. And I feel really bad about that. Okay, yeah, so there's endings for each of the characters, I believe. Okay, let's go for Klops this time. I do want to see what happens if...
You killed Prince Titanico.
Yeah, I want to see what happens if I actually get it wrong this time instead of actually getting it right by accident.
Me? What are you talking about?
Now, Klops, there's no need for shouting. We can talk this through like reasonable people.
Urgh.
Why don't you, keep talking then, Miss Misfortune?
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm probably gonna die in this one.
Certainly. Perhaps first we should get the issue of motive out of the way. That shouldn't take long.
What do you mean? Why would I want to kill my own boss?
That, my dear man, is as plain as the perpetual scowl on your face.
Well, obviously you're sick of being a valet, but we'll talk about the prince's will.
It's money, of course. The most timeless motive of all.
Timeless, perhaps. But how would Mr. Klops make any money? By putting himself out of a job.
Come now, Comtesse de Clesidra. You have a household staff of your own. Is it not common for fine lords and ladies to leave a monetary legacy to their loyal servants?
Certainly the better ones do. What do you say, Mr. Horatio? Do you think that this was something the prince might have done?
Well, not that I'm privy to the precise details of the prince's will, but let's just say it's rather unlikely.
Yeah, and besides, how much would you expect a mere valet to get? It's not like he was the butler or something.
Urgh.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all. Why would you do that?
It's big and mean.
Rubbish! Nonsense! I just want to do my civic duty and make things as quick and straightforward as possible for our busy, hard-working law enforcement officers. That's all.
Civic duty? You? Okay, now I know you're full of it.
Well, since you're inclined to be so helpful, Misfortune, perhaps you would submit to a quick search of your person? Of course, we should all do the same. I'll even go first if you like.
Oh shit. Well, we haven't proven about the fact that we have one of knives and a ring, so...
No, I vote her first. Might save us all some trouble.
I think that's a good idea. Any objections, ma'am?
I suppose not. I mean, I have nothing to hide. Well, not much at least.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mr. Klops would love to do the search with making sure one punch to the face would render me unconscious.
Allow me then, darling. I do have gloves on just in case, and I promise I'll be gentle. Hang on. What's this? Oh, my lord. There's a knife in her purse, and it's got blood on it.
A knife? My dear Countess, get back. Klops, make sure she doesn't try anything.
I'm gonna get knocked out, aren't I?
Unhand me, you ill-dressed oaf! I swear, that knife isn't mine. I have no idea how it got there.
The blade. It's the same as the wound on the prince. Misfortune. You killed him?
Yeah, I feel this is only fair after what I just did to her in the last ending.
Hey, There's something else in her bag. A diamond ring. Wait, this belonged to the boss.
Let me see. Oh my. Pops, you are right. This ring, it was on the prince when he died. Misfortune, you dastardly fiend.
Are you even listening to me, you orange juice guzzling clown? I don't know how those things got in my purse.
Well, I mean, we do, but...
Under the circumstances, I think we're going to have to leave it to the police to decide that.
Yes, Klops. Don't let her out of your sight for an instant. A villainous villain will face justice for what she did to my friend.
I hear the sirens now. I'll go let them in. Can't say I'll be terribly upset to have them take her away from here.
Yeah, I get the feeling nobody liked me here.
Goodbye, Misfortune.
Oh, ripped me.
Tisk tisk, darling. Petty robbery. Must be hard times, I suppose. Normally, you're smart enough to marry them first.
Yay, I went to jail and I got an achievement for it. Oh, and just straight cuts to the main menu here. Don't even get credits. Oh, let's play the credits anyway. But anyway, unfortunately I'm out of time for today, so can't quite get through to the other endings, but I'll give you guys an incentive to go out and buy this game and play for yourself, because I really enjoy this game, though it's quite a lot shorter than I thought it'd be. But I still quite enjoyed it, with some of the wacky characters in this. I mean, some of them were a little annoying, but oh well, can't like all of them. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed my little LP of this game, and yeah, I'll be hopefully seeing you in the next game I play, with maybe a little bit less murder.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
They
wait.
just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Oh, that's cool. They actually, like, show the characters and when the voice actors show up. That's cool.
No ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet.
You have it. Everyone, stay back. She's armed and very likely dangerous.
Ah, this is such a cool idea for the credits.
Oh my, I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never imagined.
It's even in the bloopers. That's cool.
Perhaps you preferred that your wife... No, that is your husband. You are the wife, and I am an idiot.
I'm really loving this.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all. Why would you do that?
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people,